Hey guys, and welcome to game number 67 out of 100 of the Mack vs. Machine series, where I'll be playing 100 games of Scrabble against the top online bot, HastyBot. We're currently sitting at 42 and 24 in the series, but we are coming off two pretty big losses, so hopefully we can turn things around and get back on the winning train. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we are first, and kind of an awkward opening rack. We've got the J and not too many vowels. So we've got some options. We could consider keeping the J with something like gory. But I generally prefer not keeping the J early on just because it's so hard to bingo with. I'd probably prefer either jog or joy. So jog scores 4 or less. YMRR is definitely better than GMRR though, just because at least if you're going to keep a lot of consonants, the Y is not a bad one to have since it can function a little bit more like a vowel. And it's also just better for scoring. So I feel like it's probably worth the 4-point sacrifice to play jog. So I'm kind of leaning towards that. Yeah, we don't have any 5-letter words, unfortunately, that would double one of our higher point tiles. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with jog. Okay, he plays Olio, so it looks like he's having the opposite problem. He's got too many vowels, and we don't have enough. But this is not a terrible rack. We actually have a pretty high-scoring play of Myrrh over here, which is 50 points. So that's quite a lot. And we actually have Myth over here, which is even more. That's 57. So we actually have two really good options, and it's pretty close, which is better. Because Myth advantages are it scores 7 more points, and it also takes away this big hotspot on the H column where he could have a similar play that ends in like a W or an M or the other H or something like that that scores a lot of points. Of course, with Myrrh, the advantage is it keeps a much better leave. IT is considerably better than IRR. So pretty tough call, actually. The thing is, after Olio, he probably didn't keep any high point tiles. So that makes me a little bit more in favor of Myrrh, since he's not super likely to score a ton in that spot. And IRR is just so much worse than IT. 7 points is a bit to give up, though, so it is very close. You could actually also consider Myri over here, or Rhymy. So it's 9 less, but HRT, it's a little consonant heavy, but it's just so much more balanced for scoring than the leave of IRR after Myth. So we have actually like 3 pretty viable options here, all of which score a lot of points. I think it's either Myri, Myth, or Myrrh. I can't really see any other plays that appear to be worth considering. I feel like he probably didn't keep a high point tile, but he did still draw 4 tiles. So if he pulled in the other H, one of the W's, a P, he's still pretty likely to score a lot of points there. On the other hand, if I play something like Myth or Rhymy, I do still leave him the J column here. And if he has a W, he could score a lot overlapping with EW anyway. So I'm not even sure how much less he would even be getting. I still feel like Myri is better than Myth. It's 9 less, but HRT is just so much better than IRR. I think it's between Myri and Myrrh. Yeah, THR is just, it could really, as long as I pull like 2 vowels, it'll be really strong. I think I'm going to go with Myri, because that spot is still more dangerous. And also the H is good for the other spot. If he doesn't use it, and if I can draw an E, I'll be scoring a lot there. So I think this is the right play. Okay, so he does end up bingoing with Deifier there. So I guess Myrrh would have worked out better in that sense. However, I did draw very well, and I will be bingoing back. So the question is where? If I could use this M, that would be quite good. I could also maybe try to get an overlap here with like EDH and Joe's, perhaps. I could also play like Kitharas through this I. That's 86, so that's not bad. There may be double doubles through this E as well. Yeah, like there's Tracheas. That's 90. Also takes out that line. So tracheas looks very good. Unless I have something that doubles the H here, which I don't think I do. See, I see Stramash, but that's not going to work very well. Yeah, I don't think I have anything that gets the M to the triple. Yeah, I think probably just Tracheas here is perfectly fine. Scores 90, takes out that floating E, so this looks quite strong. Let's go ahead and do it. And he bingos right back with Apiarist, and we have a tie game after all that. And not a terrible draw for us here. Don't think we'll be bingoing, we just have a little bit too many E's. So we might want to just play Demise or something to clean up the rack. I don't think we're going to be able to really score much. I don't see much from this C. It also is a blank C, so it's not even going to score very much. Oh, actually, we have Ermine here. That's 37. Yeah, that's cool. That's definitely going to be the best play. Alright, he plays Fuse, so that scores a bit. Not the best draw for us here. I don't think we're going to be bingoing. So maybe... Yeah, I'd love to get rid of like the C, one of the E's, the U, probably the L as well. Could just blow up the rack with Council for 20. It's not terrible. Have anything with sick here? That's what I was looking at. I don't think there's any words that are going to start UC though, so that's not going to work. Yeah, maybe just Council. I mean, there's not really any good tiles here on this rack for scoring, so we might be better off just burning through, trying to get some S's, maybe the X for scoring tiles. Yeah, also the with the S hook for Apiarists available, the S would be a pretty important tile to get. So I do think trying to turn over some tiles to maximize our chances of getting one does make a good amount of sense. So yeah, it's also a fairly constant heavy pull, so just keeping an E alone is not bad at all. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so he plays Pleb, and we have picked up the Q, so not really what we wanted, unfortunately. And I don't even have a great place to get rid of it. I don't want to play Qua. So there's no N open for Trank. I guess I could play Cot over here. I could also just play QI, but that's probably too big a point sacrifice. I mean, I do hit, let's see though, if I play QI, I hit Tartar with an A draw. Retreat, Treater with an E, but I don't think either of those would play. Actually, well this, if I play, how about if I play QI here though? Because now if I draw an E, I'd have Tetramer. I would give me maybe nothing. Ready or tar? Oh, Irritate. I would give me Irritate. O would give me Retroact. Yeah, this hits enough. This has to be worth it, I think. And then N gives me Retirement also. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't block, then this actually hits quite a lot. So I think it's worth it, actually. Let's go for it. And it did work, but he bingos for almost 100 with Snowcat. I do have Tartar, so I'm gonna stay in the game, but it's not looking great. I'm gonna need another bingo almost certainly. Okay, so he plays top. I mean, I feel like there's not much to consider here. I kind of have to just play box, and this gets me within 10. So, and I have the last S. If he didn't pick up good scoring tiles, then I maybe have some outside shots, especially if I pick up a good number of vowels. I mean, I don't think there's much else to consider. I kind of have to play Vox here. Okay, so he plays Wino. That V is pretty bad tile for us to draw. So we're down 40. And what do we do here? Is it realistically possible to win without a bingo? Probably not. I mean, the most I can score would be like brawn. And I don't know, just keeping VDS down 10 plus a tempo, I don't see how I'm going to win. I think what I should do, oh actually this is really clever, I should play Vid, because I have the last A for Avid. And it's actually not that easy for him to block. I mean, he could play Vide or something. Or something with Vide. I guess he could play down from this V, but it's actually not even that easy for him to do, because he doesn't have many tiles that hook the OP. So this seems like a good try. Let's go for it. Alright, so he plays Yuck. Don't have a bingo. So I guess I'll fish again. If I fish off an L, I hit Barongs. And Bargoons. Yeah, if I hit Bargoons and Barongs, I think I win. So let's fish off an L if I can draw a G. Because yeah, how about if I draw an I also? No, it doesn't give me anything. That's probably still my best fish. An E would give me Boranes and Bop, which if he somehow leaves that open, maybe would be enough. I mean, see the problem, right, is if I draw a G, he can play down from like Hop and block both. But I have to kind of hope that, try to exploit HastyBot, I think, and hope that he doesn't. Like against a human, I'm probably pretty dead here. Yeah, I think I'm pretty dead against the human. There's also an idea of trying to play Bloop to set up Bloop, but unfortunately there's 2 Gs and he'll just play something with Gloop and easily win the game, so that's not going to work either. So yeah, I think I should, especially against HastyBot, probably just fish off an L. I mean, because yeah, if I can draw a G or an E, I think I have some chances. Especially the G, because Barongs is going to score a lot of points. So where is my best spot for the L? Probably here? I think so. So let's see what we can get. Oh, we got a D with Robans. Pretty sure, yeah, he blocked Bradoons, unfortunately. Through the O. Onboards. Pretty sure Bandors is no good. Bandors. I mean, I guess that would. I'm like 99% sure that's not good. I mean, I could try it and then lose some spread if it's no good, but I'm pretty much positive it's no good. I'm almost certain it's just Robans. Yeah, Bandoras and Bandors with an E are good. But yeah, Bandors without the E is definitely not good. I'm not going to even play. I know it's not a word. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to get this one done. So, alright, let's just cut our losses. And I guess Absorb is probably best to score as many as we can. Yeah, seems fine. Oh, I probably shouldn't have given him that back. But that's okay. Only matter for spread. And alright, so we'll go out over here with In and Nam. And that is the game. So good game, 416 to 475. A loss, but I think I played pretty well. Didn't really have much that I could have done at the end. At this point, yeah, Absorb looks like the best play. And then when I fished here. Yeah, I mean, obviously if I just play like Bro or something like that, I'm emptying the bag. I'm never winning at this point without a bingo. So I think towards the end I probably did all I could, but let's go back to the beginning and see what else might have been there. Yeah, so Jog seems fine here. I think it's got to be better than Joy. Like I said, just if you're going to keep consonants, at least the Y is a little bit more flexible than some other consonants like a G. So Jog looks good. He plays Olio, and yeah, a lot of options here. Like I said, I ended up playing Myri. I considered Myth, and I considered Myrrh, and all these three plays are pretty close. Like I could see playing any of them, but I ultimately decided the spot on the top is definitely the easiest for him to score with. And while he probably didn't keep a high point tile with a play like Olio, he is still playing 4 tiles, and there's 2 W's, there's an M, there's another H, there's 2 P's, there's 2 B's. There's just a lot he could draw and have an easy 40-point play there. So I felt like it was worth it to block that spot. And if I play Myri, then there is this spot next to Olio still open, but it's a little bit tougher for him to hit for a big score there. He'd need to have a good play with an E for Joe, and those plays will often give me back a little bit too, especially if he plays down here, like clicking YO, then he'll often be giving a double line back on column K, which won't be great for him. So I figured if I'm going to leave a spot, it's better to leave the J column spot. And Myth is 9 more points, which is a lot, but IRR is so weak. The duplicate R's are pretty bad together, especially I is not. If you have ERR, that's not quite as bad, but IRR is a really clunky leave. You're often going to end up having like 7 1-pointers just with no good way to score. So HRT, as long as you can pick up a vowel or two, which we did, you should be in very good shape to score. So it's just the most flexible leave. Myrrh IT is a fine leave as well. But yeah, I also ultimately just decided I didn't want to leave that H column spot open. So I think Myri is probably okay. But again, I could live with any of those 3 plays, to be honest. And there's probably many strong players who would favor Myth and many strong players who would favor Myrrh. So pretty interesting call there, but I think I'm okay with Myri. Of course, if I had played Myrrh, I don't believe he would have bingoed back. So in that case, maybe it would have worked out better, but of course that doesn't necessarily mean it was a better play. And hey, it did work out well for me keeping that HRT leave because I drew AAS blank, and yeah, Tracheus looks like by far the best bingo. I didn't see Ashtray here, but that's pretty bad. It scores way less, and yeah, there's really nothing else to consider. So that looks good. He bingos right back. Glad I spotted Ermine here. It's obviously way better than anything else. I guess yeah, okay, I didn't actually consider Ermine to set up the D hook, but I don't think with 2 Ds and 2 S's still unseen, it doesn't seem like a smart play. It's too likely that you'll just give him back a huge play in that spot. So Ermine looks good. Yeah, of course, if I hadn't played the D, he would have just played Fuses for even more points. I think Council is fine. Yeah, I saw Unclosed, but obviously this is worse. There's no good reason to put a U in the triple lane for really no benefit. So that doesn't make sense. You could play Lucon, but I mean, I don't really see a good reason to sacrifice the 2 points. I'm also going to be a little bit down, so leaving the bingo lines a bit more open seems fine. I think yeah, I think Council is good here. He plays Pleb. I might have gone with Blip just to keep the extra vowel. The vowels are getting a little bit scarce, so with Pleb you do run some risk of having 6 or 7 constants. I might have sacrificed a few points with Blip here, but it's close. I don't mind Pleb by any means. And yeah, I mean, obviously I'm sacrificing a decent chunk of points here by just dropping the Q instead of playing Cut. And it is debatable, but I just saw that I actually do hit bingos with a pretty large chunk of the pool. Like an A, which I drew, there's I always look at the most common tiles in the pool first when I'm trying to figure out how often a fish hits, right? So I saw it hits with an A with Tartar, hits with an N for Retirant through that I in Myri, hits with an O with Retroact through the C in Council. So all of the tiles that occur 4 times in the pool, that's 12 hits right there. Now we look at the ones with 3. It hits with an E for Tetramer. It hits with an I, or I thought it, yeah, hits with an I with Irritate. So like it hits with all the tiles that occur with 3 or 4 times frequency in the pool, which is already quite a lot. And of course, it's going to miss sometimes too, right? Like if I draw a V, I'm not going to have a bingo. but it hits often enough that I do think it's probably about 50%, if not even a tiny bit more, which is, I think, more than enough to sacrifice the 14 points for the chance at a bingo. Of course, well, it doesn't really backfire in that he would have had Snowcat either way. If anything, it pays off because I do at least have the bingo back to keep myself in the game. And, well, so he actually kept UW with top, which is a lousy leave, but yeah, I guess it's just the best of all his options here. I mean, he doesn't really have a way to score nearly as many points unless he plays paw keeping 2 U's, which is probably even worse. So this seems fine. Yeah, Vox is basically forced here. I mean, gets rid of the V and the X, 51 points. Wino looks good here. He definitely wants to keep scoring to try to ensure that I can't win without a bingo. And yeah, this turn was probably one of the more pivotal turns towards the end of the game. I like my play of Vid because, like I mentioned, I have the last A, so he can't really deal with it by directly using the spot. His best ways to deal with it would be playing something with Vide, which is not going to score very much, and it'll also leave me the bop line for next turn if he does block it. And if I can draw one or two vowels, I should have a decent chance at hitting something there. He could play down from the V, which would be sort of the worst case scenario for me. Or I guess something with a hook for op. But there aren't that many hooks for op left in the pool. There's the H, there's the L, and then there's the K. But if he's going to use the V, there really aren't a lot of words that go V blank H or V blank K. So he'd have to have the L if he wants to play with the V. And I guess he could just play something with hop, which might mean against a human, Vid is not a great play because if they have the H, they'll just play something with hop and kind of close down that whole side of the board. That being said, it might still not be a bad play because there's a decent enough chance they don't have, it's unlikely they don't have any of the hooks, but it's possible, right? Like with Wino, they kept G and U, so if they didn't draw any of the hooks to opt, then they actually are going to have a very hard time blocking this. So it does have a lot of merit still. It may be, though, against a human, you're better off. I don't know. I mean, with Brawn, like I said, you have the last S, but the last S isn't that useful on this board for scoring, and you're still going to be down 10, plus whatever they score, and you're keeping 3 consonants in a slightly consonant-heavy pool. It doesn't look good. How about fishing with VAR? So I guess, I mean, yeah, you hit with an E, but the problem is, again, like against a human opponent, they're going to do everything they can to block the C column, especially after you fish off one tile like that. So, I don't know. It's a tough turn, guys. I mean, maybe, yeah, again, you really don't want to be keeping this V if you can help it. There's not a lot of good options here. Maybe Vid is fine. I mean, just hope that they either don't block or don't have the right tiles to block. It's not a crazy play, I think, even against a human. And certainly against HastyBot, it worked. Yeah, like against the human here, I mean, even if cause they have the K, but like it's not easy for them to do much. I guess they'd probably play King. Yeah, like I guess if I was in HastyBot's shoes here, I would probably play King. But you have to be careful because with King, if I play Bash for like 50 with Kings, then you could potentially lose if I draw an out. So it's dicey. And that's why I think Vid against a human is the right play even. Because, yeah, it's not hard for them to block in theory, but the score is close enough that if you sacrifice too much to block, you could still risk losing without a bingo. So like you probably have to play King, but then if I had drawn the H and played Bash, I could have actually still won. And then, yeah, as I mentioned here, I mean, I don't think there's much else to do other than fish. I clearly can't play 3 tiles. I need to bingo at this point. There's 0 chance of winning without a bingo, being I'm down 60. So, yeah, I think just doing that is fine. And then, yeah, I didn't draw one of the Gs that I needed. If I'd picked up the G, then Barongs would have been enough to win. But unfortunately, no such luck here, so I just played Sword. Maybe not the best endgame, but at that point, it's kind of a moot point. And yeah, so the game ends once again 415 to 416 in HastyBot's favor. Good game, though. Very, very interesting. Myri was a really interesting turn that I may have misplayed a little bit. Towards the end, I think I gave it a good fight. Overall, I'm happy with this game. I mean, definitely didn't make any glaring mistakes, and certainly I don't even think I made any clear small mistakes. Myri is a questionable decision, but I'm fine with it. And yeah, I think Vid was a creative play at the end that I'm glad that I found, and it just didn't work out. But that is very much part of the game. You know, sometimes you'll make the right play, and you have a chance at hitting the tile you need, and you just don't draw that tile, and that is very much par for the course when it comes to Scrabble. So yeah, there you have it, folks. That is game number 67. Hope you guys enjoyed that one, and I will see you all very soon for game number 68. Have a good one, guys. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.